How are you, everybody who is watching this video? My name is Olenjolai. I would like to welcome you into this fantastic moment. Whether you are a national viewer or international viewer of this work, I'm very happy, and I'm very happy to have you today. And I have very important information concerning about the basic engineering and scientific mathematics. Okay, so I don't want to waste much of your time. I know that your time is everything and it's worth. So I'd like to welcome you into our online platform, so online institutions that call the Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania in square bracket Olenjolai M. Okay? Olenjolai, just omit this M. Olenjolai is enough. Simultaneously, because I'm teaching you engineering and scientific mathematics, we have also a very common terms that we had since we have been in the ordinary level that's called simultaneous equations, whether of the two unknowns, or the three unknowns, or four unknowns, or regardless of how many unknowns are there, we as mathematicians, we have to think around how we can go around it. So I would like to welcome simultaneously into one of our official YouTube channels that called the Online Diploma Polyinstitute of Tanzania in square bracket Olenjolai. Wow. It might be that this is your first video and this is the first visit of this our YouTube channels, or maybe in any of our social network. Don't worry, I will be trying my level best to go through the information that you have missed and even direct you where you can get all of those contents, because are very important. For we have arranged the information and the learning sequentially from the fundamental, from the foundations to the roof. So that's why that we like to see our students they get the true informations in every stage of building this house of knowledge. Okay, so I want to remind you quickly about the visions of these online institutions. I would like to declare publicly the vision that we have from God, because He's a source of the idea, He's a source of everything, He's a source of even myself, because I'm His product and He's my manufacturer. So God has revealed this picture in my mind that I have an assignment to prepare, incubate, train, mentor, leads some group of students who will be ready to take the classroom instructions in basic engineering mathematics, basic scientific mathematics, including the year core modules, the knowledge from the year core module, for example, from the mechanical modules, from electronics module, for example, analog electronics, digital electronics. We have against telecommunications, maybe telecommunications modules, etc., etc. To combine that classroom instructions, which are caught inside the box, with the knowledge of the Word of God from the manual that's called the Bible. And remember, the Bible is not for the Christians. No any lines that have been written in the Bible from the Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 through Revelation chapter 22 verse 21 that has been written that the Bible is for the Christians. That is the wrong belief, and I have proved it myself. The Bible is the book of God's instructions for the mankind to live in His planet Earth. Right? So I don't want to go into too much details. But remember, the vision is just these students have to take the classroom instructions on what they are learning at college, what are their learnings at the ordinary diploma, combined with the knowledge of the Word of God that can be found in the Bible. Okay? And then has been told by we call them the legal dealers, okay? In order to solve the real life problems. So remember that this is the two knowledge which sometimes I can call them just like a like judge, because like judge always repair. So if you do your research, I did my own research and I found that these two knowledge actually by nature they don't repair, but the mankind can make it to repair. What does it mean? That you can be competent enough in the classroom instructions, but you don't know anything about the spiritual knowledge, which is invisible world. You can be also competent in the invisible world, but you are ignorant in the physical world. I will be giving you evidence as long as we go, because I see somebody, one of the students or some of the viewers say, this is not true. I would like just to tell you that I will give you evidences, and even myself also, I had the similar sort like yours. But God has made a transformation. So remember that the main goal of these programs is not to help students to pass the exam. However, that will be, for example, in departments of basic engineering and scientific mathematics, will be focusing on helping students to pass the exam. But that's not the main objective. But we want them to not to have a pressure and internal pressure during the learning, so they can be free and have enough times on adding the new information, especially the one from the spiritual knowledge that they are not getting at the institutions or at the college. Okay, so it means that our main goal here to see our students who want to be basic technicians in engineering and scientific, right, are competent enough on solving real life problems during the learning process and even after the graduation. I'm a product of the two worlds. I'm a product of the two knowledge. I'm a product of the classroom instruction. I'm a product also of the wisdom of the Word of God. So what I'm teaching you and what I'm telling you is what I'm living in. Right? Do you get my point? We have some few specific. We have so many specific objectives in online diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, square bracket Olenjolai. Some of the specific objectives, first of all, we want to make all our students to love basic engineering and scientific mathematics. That's one of our specific objectives. Secondly, we like to have our students to master, to pass, to understand, okay, everything that they have to cover during their learning process of basic engineering and scientific mathematics. Our third specific objective, we like also to help our students to pass their continuous assessment, whether from test for the test 1, test 2, maybe there's a quiz or there's assignment, all of those things that we call them are the measures or are the test measures during the learning process. So we like to see our students, they are performing to the best. That's our third specific objective. Our fourth specific objective also is we like to teach our students to think it differently, and especially to think outside of the box. When it's outside of the box, to think outside of the classroom and outside of the college where they're doing their ordinary diploma education. Right? I know what I'm saying. It can take years to build up. I understand what I'm saying, because even for myself, it has been just a long time. So this is our national flag. I'm from Tanzania. I'm a Tanzanian. I'm from Tanzania. And I'll be using the curriculums of United Republic of Tanzania. However, this context, because mathematics is universal, can be useful in any country and in any institutions or college or university providing ordinary diploma to prepare the basic technicians will be the contest based, right? I have so many information to tell you concerning about that. So let me just put a limit on myself and focus on what I prepared today. Okay, so we have some departments in this online institutions. It's an online institution. One of the departments is called the Basic Engineering and the Scientific Mathematics. Another department, we have some other departments also, but in these departments, currently we are teaching 6 modules or 6 courses, which actually that it's an entire program or an entire training for ordinary diploma students who will be studying 3 years in any engineering or scientific institutions, United Republic of Tanzania. Okay, and then the course is Algebra. This is the name of the course for the first year. This Algebra comprises some topics. One of the topics is called the indices and logarithm, which actually that we build on top of the fundamental exponents and radical that we learned at the first topic in Form 2, and even logarithms, which we learned during your Form 2, which is the 4th topic according to the syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania. So we are adding some values there, something that we have to build on that foundation. If you forgot, don't worry. I have another YouTube channels. And another online school that training ordinary secondary education about basic mathematics, physics, and chemistry. You know how is it called? It's called the Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. Enjoy it. Okay, so we are in lecture 3, laws of logarithms, and then we have some problems. This, for example, this module is taught at the first semester of the first year in many NAT institutions, right? So let us go to the business right now. Okay, so the subject is called Algebra. I want just to remind you. Remember that in the previous, let me just tell you, up to this moment, we have uploaded lecture 00, the general introductions of basic and the higher, basic engineering and scientific mathematics, which gives you all introductions, registration, subscribe, share, read the descriptions, etc. And also I have added into these channels lecture 1 of the first topic that's called the introductions of algebra, only one lecture that I've made. And then I've already uploaded lecture 1 lecture 1, that's called the general introductions of indices. That's the second topic for the second topic. And then I've already uploaded lecture 2, which is general introductions about the introductions of logarithm. And today we are in lecture 03. Make sure that you watch each of these lectures before you come to lecture 3. All the informations are publicly, you can access them anywhere at any time. We don't have any limitations to meet with me physically right now. That's the joy of God. Okay, so make sure to go through all of these sessions. But just to remind you to do the quick review, because this is what I call it a quick review. I'm not wasting time, but I'm linking my lectures, okay, quick review of lectures in algebra. Remember that the big picture that should be, the big picture should have in your mind, we have a subject of mathematics. And then in the subject of mathematics, we have so many branches of mathematics, but one of them is algebra. And this algebra is divided into 2 main branches. You know one? One is called the ordinary algebra, the ones that we are learning right now, algebra. And then another branch is called the Boolean algebra. Boolean algebra, okay? Boolean algebra. The good thing that the contents of this module of algebra covers both ordinary algebra and the Boolean algebra. So now we began this ordinary algebra where we find some of those concepts, right? So in ordinary algebra, we have so many cases, okay? That's how to learn. We have to learn about algebra itself, what the meanings of algebra, how do we do algebra. We have something like called indices, as you have just learned there, and logarithm. We have, again, so we'll touch a little bit about coordinate geometry, geometry 1. Okay, again, we have to touch a little bit about linear programming, and also we have to touch about some issues that could be about factorization methods, okay, of the 2 roots, 3 roots, etc., etc. Right? Again, remember that we say we have 2 authorities in Tanzania, okay, which are accrediting the institutions, the ordinary diploma institution. We have TCU and we have also NAT. So I'm teaching according to the curriculums of NAT. But if you are an international student, don't get disappointed. You make sure that you have the course outlines for your course, because mathematics is universal. The mathematics that we are learning in Tanzania is common. And I would like just to welcome you, because I know you are in first year ordinary diploma. You are warmly welcome into first year ordinary diploma. You have to be focused, be a visionary student, and then have a strong focus on what you see in your mind and what God has revealed to you. And for those who are Tanzanians, I would like just to tell them, Jambo Tanzania, that's my special greeting. Jambo Tanzania, how are you? Habari za saizi? Unaendeleaje? Uko okay? Uko sawa? Mungu akubariki sana. Okay, so let us go to the lecture 3. So in this, just remember that we have in lecture 3, if you remember that we say logarithm, we have 2 types of logarithm, right? We have common logarithm, and also we have natural logarithm. So we say the laws of logarithm. So first of all, let me just have these laws of logarithm. Laws of logarithms, okay, are the laws that allows or that helps mathematicians like you who is learning mathematicians to do operations on the logarithmic function. When you say logarithmic functions, it means both common logarithm and even natural logarithm. So both common logarithm and natural logarithm. That's what you mean. Okay, at the means of laws of logarithm, right? These are the principles. Mean that whenever we find some of the, when we'll be solving some problems, we have to recall them and do the operation, do the simplifications. They are so useful in mathematics and even in many cases. So in order, during mean that the prerequisite the prerequisite concept of laws of logarithm, right? Logarithm for ordinary diploma, or the means ordinary diploma, is laws of logarithm. Laws of logarithm, that is the concept of laws of logarithm. Logarithm as the first topic of basic mathematics. Basic mathematics subject called the of Form 2. The first topic of basic mathematics of Form 2. So I will recall those laws. Just we have only here we taught you 4 laws, only 4 laws. I will recall them, and hence I will build on top of them. Okay. So let us recall. So laws of logarithms, fundamental laws of logarithm. Let's say that fundamental laws of logarithm. If you forgot them, of logarithm, this is according to the basic mathematics Form 2. Okay. So we named them. Number 1, we have the law that we call the law of product. We are still working law of product. So even in ordinary diploma, we use this one. Say law of 40 of product. So the law of product, we say that let's suppose that we have 2 logarithmic functions. Suppose that we have log of A less 10, and also we have log of B less 10. So suppose that log A, this one and that ones are the two functions, and then we want to multiply them. What does it mean? That means that we want to take logarithm of A less 10, we have to multiply with logarithm of B less 10. So this in maths, we just write in abbreviation that log, because it's common log, so of A times B, right? Log of A times B less 10. So the laws now say that in case you want to find log of A times B less 10, right? This one is equal to, if we take log individual logarithms of A less 10, we add it with log of B less 10. So this is the first law that we learned during our ordinary education. Right? Can use either log of x and y, so any variables, because those are the mathematical variables that we use them in algebra to simplify life and make the universal formula. Right? Okay, so this is the first law. The second law, so I'm just reviewing the basic mathematics. We talked to you about law of quotient. Law of quotient. Law of quotient, this deals with what? Quotient is the result that we get when we have 2 numbers, or 2 arithmetic numbers, or 2 letters, or 2 variables, or whatever, 2 equations, and divide them. So this is the result after division. So it's a basically, this is the basic operations of division. Well, this is the basic operations of multiplication, because product is the result of multiplying 2 numbers, 3 numbers, 4 numbers, 3 equations, 3 functions, etc. So log of quotient, this one we say that we still have our log A and log B are the logarithmic functions. So these are log functions. Okay. So it means logarithm. So we have to take logarithm of A base 10. We have to divide with logarithm of B base 10. Right? So you see. So this in mathematics you can write in short, just like this one. Log of A over B base 10. Right? So you have to know how can you find the divisions of the 2 logarithmic functions. Mathematics is beautiful. Do you enjoy? Tell me in the comment sections you enjoy this material. From which institution, from which college, from which city, from which street, from which school, or from which university, from which country, from which continent. Are we happy to hear? Share with me in the comment section here. So we have log of A over B, and this is base 10. So this one, in order to find the divisions of the two logarithmic functions, in mathematics we say that we have to take log of A base 10, then we subtract it with log of B base 10. What happens? We have to take the logarithms of numerator minus numerator and minus logarithms of denominator, right? So that's the process. Or we have that numerator and the denominator. So we have to subtract it. So this is the second fundamental law that we learned during our Form 2 education, and we still need it in basic engineering and scientific mathematics for ordinary diploma, right? Okay, so we have again the third law. So let me show you the reference. Let me show you the reference, because I'm a kind of a reference man. I don't want to do things in space. I have this book. I refer those laws from this book. I think that, secondary basic mathematics book 2, you still remember Tanzania Institute of Education, some maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you went through this book, or you saw it. So if you go, we have this chapter 4. I'm a man of reference. I don't want to do things in space. It means that just from elsewhere, this is the part that I'm teaching you. Laws of logarithms. So these are laws of exponents, laws of logarithms. So you see, here it has been used the M and the N, they are used the A. Law of product, law of quotient, and this is law of of power, right? So the logarithms of products, later the laws of power, and laws of laws, so that's against law of quotient. Okay, I've touched about law of quotient. And again, how do we call this? Okay, law of power. So law of power, law of power, and so this we call it law of power. I just want to give you names also. So when you be teaching other students, because I want to prepare also teachers, a law of power. So we call it law of power. So the third one is called the law of power. In Form 2, the book didn't mention its name, it just gave us the law. Right? Law of power. Say law of power. Say law of power. Say law of power. Okay? So the law of power, we say that suppose that the logarithmic function, the log function, okay, the log function, FCT means log functions of what? Of log of A base 10 is multiple of 40 of N. So what does it mean? It means that we take the log of A base 10 and then we raise with exponent of 40 of N. Then what does the law tell us? So this one, we let this later on the coefficient part of logarithmic function. So this is equal to N log of A base 10. So this is our rule, and this is our law. This is the third law we learned during our Form 2 education. Tell me in the comment section if you're enjoying the beauty of mathematics, because I know that you forgot it. Especially when you passed basic mathematics during the Form 4, and it's still possible that a year or you went for advanced educations and unfortunately you didn't succeed to go to undergraduate education. So possibly you forgot. I know your situation. God has revealed your situations in my mind. Then the first one, how do you call this one? I was trying to think that how do you call this this law of 40. Okay, so this is called the law of 40. Law of, let's say that law of common base, law of 1. How do you call it? I'm trying to look the answer. Because what the law does it say? That suppose we have a logarithmic function A, and then we have base A, this is equal to 1. So log of A base A. So log of a number with the base of number. Log of common base, log of the same log of the same base. Yes, I think this might be working fantastic. Log of the same base, because this is the base and this is the number. So this is it's a law that we have learned during our Form 2 education. Log of A base A is equal to 1. So if you remember, that's why that you have been simplifying that. Once we find log 10 base 10, we don't want to worry, it's 1. Once we find, let's say, log of 3,000 base 3,000, if it is there, the answer is 1. That's the meaning of the law. So it's work in any circumstance. So these are the fundamental laws of logarithm. So now let me take you within those 4 laws into the ordinary diploma focus. So you can have these laws mean that we say that to advance means that you say that to advance these laws we have to learn these 4 laws. We have to learn them, okay, in to advance these laws in ordinary diploma. So in ordinary diploma we have to learn them, okay? We have to learn them for the natural logarithm. For the natural logarithm, which in short, you remember, if you have gone through, we call it log. So we have, let's say that this you can call it the 5th law, law of 40, law of product, law of product, products of 40 of ln, right? Law of product of ln. Similar, we say that from the concept of if we are applying 2 logarithmic functions, which are common logarithmic function, log of A times log of B, we say that this one is equal to log of AB base 10, and this is equal to the sum of this individual logarithm, log of A 10 plus log of B base 10. So in natural logarithms, also we say that ln of A base B, right? Now ln of A base E, let's say that ln of A, and hence we say that we multiply with ln of B. Okay, so wait, I just need to give you I want you to understand. So tell your neighbor, understanding is coming. If we take ln of A, we multiply with ln of B, okay, which this one is equal to what? So in maths, just to write that in short, log of A multiplied by B, right? Ln of A times B. And remember that the relationship between ln and common logarithm, because this is natural logarithm, just to remind you, I say that ln of x, this is equal to log of x base E. It's a number which is equal to 2.7, etc. You can find in a scientific calculator. So similarly, so law of product of natural logarithm. So we say that ln of A times B, this also is equal to ln of A plus ln of B. So this is what we add in ordinary diploma. You will need this when you be learning about engineering courses in civil engineering. So you need these formulas even in mathematics to work on them. So this law of product. Or in other words, we can say that log of A base E times B, right? This is equal to log of A base E plus log of B base E. So either of this formula is true in mathematics. Is mathematics beautiful? Okay. So that is law of product of ln. Let me take you into the 6th law. Tell your neighbor that. Enjoy the beauty of law of logarithm. Okay, law of quotient. Law of quotient, because I've taught you in lecture 2 about the natural and common logarithm. Law of quotients of 40 of ln function. Okay, of logarithm of the natural logarithmic function called the ln. So because this is capital L, so it's a ln. However, that in mathematics we don't have this one is Ln. So I think the best one is Ln. So Ln. Okay, so do correction. So of 40 are natural logarithm. So Ln. So in this case, we say that for this case, we say that we have what? So again, we need to know ln of A over ln of B, right? So this one in maths, we just write that this is ln of A over B. Okay, we can write like this way because you know in your mind that what ln means, ln of A over D over B. So from the previous concepts of logarithm, so we say that similarly, ln of A over B, this is just is equal to the subtractions or the difference between ln of A and B, ln of B. So then this is the new formula for the basic technician. Okay, so also you can rewrite this one. So this is kind of your quiz. So quiz, okay, write this law in terms of logarithm. Because I need active students. I need active students. Keep on giving God sense. Say God sense. Say God think. In case you will feel from your heart. Because you receive this material free of charge. I don't charge you anything, an amount of money currently. Okay? So in case that you want to offer you a free willing thanksgiving, right? A free willing thanksgiving. And then it means you have to make, in order to participate on the running cost, on the very high running cost for this program, to make so many lectures and so many videos of algebra to be in air for the present and future generation, then you can send your free willing thanksgiving onto this number, through this number 0759745331, and the confirmation name is Olenjolai TAYAI. That's my name. I'm a founder of this program. I have nothing else to boast myself. I thank God who have given this idea and who supervised me because I'm doing for His glory. So send it. It will be received. It will be straightforwardly paying the running cost, the high running cost for this contest to be in air. That God is how do you call it? God is. I'm trying to remember a certain word that called God is a sponsor. Okay, to be sponsored by God. Okay, so I think that you have finished about the quiz. Right. So let us now go to the seventh law. So seventh law, we say that the law of power. Say law of power. Law of power for what? For law of power of common of natural logarithm, which is n. So we say that from law of common logarithm, which is say that log of a base 10, but we want to multiply this logarithm of a to itself n's time. This we say is equal to n log of a base 10. Well, similar. You would like also to know if you have ln of a power n. This is equal to a similar principle, or the similar law is applicable. You just bring ln on this side and you have log of a base e. This is still the same. So somebody say that, no, wait, sir, I'm confused. And ln of a. So this is the seventh rule. Did the seventh? Yes, the seventh rule for ordinary diploma. So you see now your young brothers and sisters, they don't know about these laws during the year level. So we give you when you pass the certificate secondary education examination. Well, so this is ln of 40, all about ln of a. Well, so we have again the eighth. We say that law of 40, law of the same base, law of the same base, the law of ln, so law of logarithm of the same base. So you can find even the correct sentence there, law of ln, okay, with what? With the same base to the number. Okay, so you say that this one from the facts that you know from the fundamental law of the common logarithm, that if you have log of a, okay, log of a base a, the answer is equal to 1 always. If you have, let's say, log of 10 base 10, the answer is equal to 1. Log of 2 base 2, the answer is equal to 1. So from that one also we have to think, what if we have ln of a, So ln of a base a. So in order now to have the same base, we have to remember that. Remember, I told you that ln of x is equal to log of x base e. So to have the same base, so we say that for ln to have the value of 1, it means that we say if we have ln of e. So if you have ln of e, this is equivalent to ln of e base e. Remember that I have explained in detail the meaning of base e in the lecture 2. So you have to go through that lecture in order to understand what e are we talking. We're not talking the e with the second letter in the alphabetical it means the alphabetical, or the fifth letter in the alphabetical order. We are talking e, which is the number in mathematics. This is ln. So we say that if you are looking ln of e, this is equal to the log of e base e, which is the common base. The value, the log and the base are the same, which is equal to what? To 1. So it means that in case you find that you have a situation that you have to know the value of ln of e, then the answer is equal to 1. So as you see that now, how many laws do you have? 8. Okay? 4 are fundamental. It means that you knew them in advance. 4 are new. And this is why you should enjoy the beauty of basic engineering and scientific mathematics. So that is ln of e is equal to 1 like that ones. So another thing that which I want to tell you, that in case you forgot, just to remind you and to link this session, I would like to take my scientific calculator and show you something at least so that you will enjoy the beauty of this stuff. Okay? So this is our scientific calculator. So we turn it on, now it's on. Then we need to know the value of e. I told that you press the alpha button. Okay, so you have pressed it, that's why you have a C later. Then you come onto this, the set buttons in the last column, which has been written ln, and you see the e here at the top of it. So if you press, you have now e. Then I told you that you press the equal sign. So the e that we are talking natural logarithm is 2.718281828, etc., etc., and so on. So this is the common base which has been chosen and very useful in mathematics. Okay, so these are the fundamental laws, because we have fundamental laws. That's all about the fundamental laws of common logarithm and natural logarithm, right? Then now, let me take you again, because all of these laws will help us to solve problems in algebra. That's why I'm teaching you. So I wanted to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the ninth law, which we call the law of n. So now we are talking about radical. Nth root. Law of, let's say, of nth root. Nth root, we have to go back again to the form 2. Right? We have to go back against the form 2. And then in form 2, if you do remember that, we say that law of the nth root. Law of logarithm of the nth root. Law of logarithm of the nth root. So recall, because I'm a teacher of the form 2, I'm teaching Tanzania online ordinary secondary school. So recall, okay, recall what? Recall the fundamental laws of the nth root that we have told you in form 2, chapter 1, okay, that if you are looking the nth root of a, this is equal to, we call this part as radical, is equal to a power 1 over n. Right? So it means that and this, if you find a power 1 over n, you get a certain number, possible that you can let that certain number is equal to 1. So listen carefully. So let's say that y is equal to, maybe it's a certain number that you want to find it after finding the nth root of a, right? And this one is equal to, if you take a power 1 over n. So just to simplify life, suppose that y is equal to what? Is equal to a power 1 over n, right? And then for instance, that this is the second step, if you want to derive it as mathematicians, this is the first step. Then we say that let us apply log this term to both sides, right? To both sides and see what will happen. Both sides. So with this one, we say that log of y, this term, this is equal to what? Log of a power 1 over n base 10. So remember the law of power. So this is the power of the number. So the norm of power, so it means that if you be log of y, this is equal to what? This is equal to 1 over n log of a base 10. Right? So we can have a general. You can generalize this that derivation in this way. Okay? So that you can enjoy the beauty of this stuff. You can generalize it in this way. How can I generalize? Generalize like this one, that generally, say generally, okay? Generally, we say that generally, if you have log of a, let's say there's 10, and then we say that this a is answered. So let me write like this way. If you are looking log, so remember that base 10, we can write base 10 or we can skip it, okay? Or 40, nth root of a. But remember that here we have base 10. Then this one is equal to, if I write about the law of radicals, log of base 10, log of a base 10, but this a will be power 1 over n. So from, again, law of power, which I taught you, that log of a base 10, but this a is power 1 over n, this is equal to, this power will come and become the coefficient of logarithm, which is 1 over n log of 40, log of a base 10. So generally, that's why I say that if we find the situation that we have to find log of a, log of nth root of a, this will be equal to 1 over n, then you have log of a base 10. Okay? So this is the rule. Okay, this is the rule. So you see, this is the rule. So now we have that rule. So we know that this is n. So this is for the common logarithm. What do you think? How about natural logarithm? Okay? So because it's a new additional law, I'll write and then I'll give you the homework for the other one. So it means that if that's the case, okay, that's what should I teach you? Let me check. Yeah. So for instance, that example, if you maybe you'll be given the situation that you have to find log of a, log of square root of a, this is equal to what? Log of a power a half, and this is equal to what? A half log of a. Okay, right? Base 10, so you can just ignore. You see now how how problems is easy when you express it that way. So in common logarithm now, because you have the idea, in natural logarithm, right? In natural logarithm, okay, natural logarithm, or let me say that we have the 10th law, which we call it law of natural logarithm ln, okay, ln of what? Of the nth root. Okay, so from the law of common logarithm log, then we can have something very important. Very important expression. So we say that from our familiar or our from our conceptual means log of nth root of a base 10, we say this is equal to 1 over n log of a base 10. So for the natural logarithm, we say that we have log of the nth root of a, okay? This is equal to ln of a power 1 over n. By using the law of power of common logarithm of natural logarithm 1 over n, ln, this is equal to 1 over n ln of a. So simply, we say that ln of nth root of a, which this is equal to what? Log of the nth root of a base e, and this is equal to 1 over n, then ln of A. So this is the 10th rule, and very important rule for the entire life of mathematics, for the rest of your life, right? Okay, so it means that with this concept now, if you are looking ln of square root of 2, so this becomes what? Very simple. So it's just ln of 2 power half, and this becomes that a half ln of 2. So ln of 2, you can use your scientific calculator. You just determine, you multiply with a half, you're done. You see that how now the life of mathematics is simplified by the grace of God. Say amen. Okay, so let me take you into the 11th law. So today, I want us to learn laws of logarithm. That's what God has put in my heart. Okay, remember that Olenjolai does not know everything concerning about logarithm. I know few issues of common logarithm, and I'm learning always about logarithm, right? So, but I'm ready to teach and have an assignment to teach other people what they know. Stay tuned. The 11th law. The 11th law, let us now think about law of logarithm of the fractional logarithm. So law of fractional logarithm. So should I call law of fractional logarithm? Or should I call, yes, law of fractional logarithm. So law of rational or fractional. Kind of that one. Law of rational logarithm. So this is we have touched about this law, but I would like just to mention it particularly or specifically. We say that what if we have log of A base 10, then divided by log of B base 10. This is equal to, if you write log, listen careful, of A over log of B. So in logarithm, this you can write like log of what? Log of A over B. Log of A over B. Okay. It's a very important law. So means log of A over log of B, we can write just like this way. You have to avoid confusion. You have to avoid confusion of this. Which kind of the confusion? Remember, for instance, if you have a situation that you have log of A base B, you have to think, is this the base and this the number? You have to think. So you see the confusion there? But if this is base 10, it's a logarithms of base 10, then this you have to know that is a what? It's a fractional or it's a rational logarithm, right? It's a rational logarithm. What does this mean? This means that log of A base 10 divided by log of B base 10. So you see the fractional logarithm comes in mind. So this is what we call the fractional or law of rational logarithm. Rationality logarithm. See? So again, we can say that if you have ln of A, because we use it to deduce the 11th law, the 12th law, ln of A base B, this also you can translate as ln of A over ln of B. And this also you can translate as what in terms of log. Log of A base E over log of B base E. If here the base is 10. If the base is not 10, it is B, that's another story. You have to work and treat it as this, the base of these logarithms is B. So you have to be careful. And I have some examples that to indicate you the difference between these two contrasting and confusing concepts. Okay? So again, we have the very important and a famous law of changing base. So law of changing, a law that we use to change, law of changing the base of logarithm. In some situation when we be solving logarithmic problem, we have to change the base. Because you can have equations which are two parts. For example, can have that equation which is log of x base y, and then plus maybe log of y base x squared. So you see, so if we can change the base of this second term to become like this one, then we can solve. Because they'll be the same, they'll have the same what? The common base. So you can use the laws of logarithm to solve that problem. And I have an example for that. Stay tuned. And you have to make sure that you join me in lecture 4, lecture 5, lecture 6 to enjoy the beauty of mathematics. Okay, so the law of changing base of 40 of logarithm. When I say logarithm, I mean both types of 40 of logarithm, which is common logarithm and the natural logarithm. So law of changing the base of logarithmic function. Okay, so how do we deduce this? This is the way that it means derivation. Say derivation. Tell your neighbor that get prepared to derive. No. It's a kind of the confusion. Okay? Let me give you the law and then so you can prove. Okay? The law states like this one. If I have log of A base B, the base is B, this is the log, the number, I can change the base. It means I can change the base from B into A. So how? So I will have a fraction that 1 over log of B base A. So I've already changed I've already changed the base from B to A. Interesting. Simultaneously, if I have log of A base B, and I want to change the base, then I'll have 1 over what? Log of B base A. So I've changed the base of the logarithmic function from A to what? To B. From B to A. Let me prove. Let me prove for you. 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 Okay. So, the proof means that proof of 40 of law of changing base of logarithmic function. So listen carefully. So you say that we'll be following some steps to prove it. We say that from this logarithmic function, it means from left hand side of 40 of the law above, right? So we say that on the left hand side, this left hand side, we have log of A base B. If we refer the law of fraction or law of rational logarithmic function, this is equal to log of A base 10 over log of B base 10. Interesting? You see now, because this depends on some previous laws. Then, okay, after reaching that state, okay, that's good news. But against the base is 10 now. I'm confusing you, man, right? I'm confused because the base here, it was B, according to the way that you can translate. But this is common logarithm, so the common base is 10, unless that we've been told in the question, right? However, the 10 we can replace with variables independent of the situations, and that's why we have these laws to simplify the manipulations or computations of the log. So if this is the case, what do we say that? We say, okay, fine. So we go for the second step. I have to prove that log of A base B is equal to 1 over log of B base A. Second step. So we say that divide by numerator means divide. So suppose that this is equation 1. So divide equation 1 means divide equation 1 by log of A base 10 to both numerator, and what? And the denominator. So if you do that, we say that log of A base B, according to the definitions, the simple definition, then now we have to take log of A base 10 and divide with log of A base 10. So log of A base 10. Then we divide with, okay, log of what? Log of B base 10. And then so divide with log of A base 10. So possibly I confused you because of this. I was budgeting this space, but what I've written there, what I've written in the second step is what I did there. But let me write it clearly. Log of A base B, this is equal to what? We say that we have log of A base 10 divided by log of A base 10. And hence, we have what again? Log of B base 10, okay, of what? Log of A base 10. Right? So remember that. This is the same number, right? So it means that if you take log of A base 10 over log of A base 10, that is according to the rule of mathematics or law of mathematics, here in numerator, you'll get 1. Because it's the same. So if you take A over B, if you take A over A or C over C, or you take maybe 20 over 20, the answer is 1. Then in denominator, we have log of B base 10 divided by log of A base 10. So suppose that this is equation 2. Interesting. This is equation 2. Then, if that is equation 2, we go for the third step. We didn't show it yet. However, that the serious students have already noticed that we are about to reach the right destination. The third step. The third step, we say that from law of rational logarithmic function, which we say that log of A base 10 over log of A base 10, if you do remember, log of B base 10, we say that this is equal to log of A base B. This one. I call this law. Right? So for our situations in equation 1, the denominator of equation 1, so the denominator of equation 2, this denominator here, we have now log of B base 10 over log of A base 10. So this one now, because we've been given the right hand side of the law of rational logarithm, so it will be equal to the left hand side, which is equal to what? Log of B base N. So this is equation 7. Right? So then, if that's the case, we go to the last step with the first step. Right? Substitute equation 7 into what? Equation 7 into equation 2. Okay, well, so where is the equation 2? This one. Left hand side of equation 2 is log of A base B is equal to what? Right hand side of equation 2, we have a numerator which is 1 over log of B base 10, okay, over the quotient of log B to log A. So then log B base 10 over log A base 10 here, we say is equal to log B base A. So this is equal to log B base A. So then we say that it hence proved. This is hence proved as required. So you've already proved. So that's why that we say that this is a very important law in basic engineering and scientific mathematics, very important law in higher engineering and in scientific mathematics, very important law in postgraduate engineering and scientific mathematics. You're going to encounter this because it's very useful and very important. So then, this is the end of, of lecture 3. You know that I want to keep on continuing teaching you, but God has said that is enough. It is enough. So it is enough. I've taught you 12 laws, but I want to leave the 13th law, so the homework, name that we call it the 13th law, called the law of changing what? changing base of 40 of common of natural logarithm. So this is a homework that I want to leave for you. I call it homework 03. Respond to the lecture. Make sure that you do this homework before you join me in the next lecture, which will be lecture 4, where now I'll be solving problems, lecture 4 and 5 and possibly even 6, if I'm not mistaken. There'll be 3 lectures for problem solving, because mathematics is just dealing on thinking on how we can solve problems. And remember that our main goals, the main objective of online diploma undergraduate, of online diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, is to see our students solving real life problems. So if you can solve the handwritten, means that the problems in mathematics, we can take that concept and such kind of the connections of the information and solve even a small problem. It may be belongs to you or him. Okay. So this is homework 3, which is law of changing base of logarithm. And the question is simple, like this one. That derive, okay, use the laws of natural logarithm to show that ln of a plus b is equal to 1 over log b plus a. And then this is hint. Hint, follow the 4 steps. And you have right the way that I've written. So make sure to try it yourself, and then you submit in the comment section. I can review, and even some other students where they can see your work and give you some credits, and give you some corrections, because all of us, we are still learning. Even myself, I'm a learner like you, or possibly that even you yourself, you're a greatest learner compared to me. So this is the end of lecture 3. Okay, I should be, God is making me to be happy, but actually that I would like to teach you and teach you and teach you, because teaching has been built in me. It's just like swimming built in the fishes. You don't see fishes attending the swimming school. Fish are born with the capability built in them to swim in water. Right? So that's what the teaching in me. I thank God for giving me this gift of teaching in extraordinary and even fantastic way that I have ever experienced it myself from other teachers. So this is the end. This is the end of lecture 3 of laws of logarithm. I thank God who have given me the idea, who have given me the gift. First of all, who have created me in his image and likeness. Secondly, thank God who have given me, who has built this gift of teaching in me. Thirdly, thank God who have given me the idea of teaching millions of the students, especially basic technicians students, and prepare them for the industrializations in Tanzania. And I thank God who have put the idea as the force, the idea in practice right now, that we enjoy these contents worldwide. I thank God also, fifthly, I thank God who have given the opportunity to join me. And I thank you also for joining me. And I would like to ask you, please, 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 share these contents to the millions of the students, and even thousands or hundreds or tens of the members of your family, of your friends, of your ordinary secondary classmates. Share with them about the truth that now is actual, that is spreading in the entire world, so they can get benefit on it. So remember to subscribe into our YouTube channel, because in this channel we are going to add more than 200 videos. And according to God's instructions, we'll be adding at least 1 video in a day. So we won't have information, we won't just like inform you. We don't have a mechanism to reach you, but the YouTube community have the way of notifying all the subscribers of Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, in square bracket, once I upload a new video in our official YouTube channel. So regardless whether you have millions subscribers, the YouTube community can inform you instantly, and you will get that notifications once you are online. that Olenjolai has uploaded or has added a new video of algebra. So make sure that you do that, because I don't want to miss you that. I don't want to miss you. Lastly, before I end these sessions, I like questions. When I was teaching physically, I used to take 30 minutes of my lecture to give my students a chance and encourage them to ask me questions. It doesn't mean that they know everything about the question they're asking me. Sometimes they can ask me questions and I have to go and do the learning myself, because I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded teacher, right? According to God, I'm open-minded. I'm always learning, right? So ask your questions in the comment section. Currently, we have a platform, the comment sections. Ask it there. Ask your questions. Answer the questions also have been asked by other students. And may God bless you until we meet in the next session. I love you so much.